Happy New Year, everyone. First Ultimate Florida Sports Show of 2026. I am Evan Closky, joined alongside my man. It's been a while. Chris Porter, how are you?
I'm feeling good. Happy New Year to you, my friends. So glad to be back in the saddle with you. And guess what? We've got a lot of good stuff to discuss. Outdoor hockey in the Sunshine State. Todd Bowles keeping his job. But first, we have to start with those AFC South Division champion Jacksonville Jaguars. Not many people saw this coming, a 13-win season for the Jags. Even head coach Liam Cohen told us that was not the goal when he took the job last year, and maybe that's why the success has come so fast. Cohen has focused every day on helping guys be the best version of themselves. That's all you can ask. That approach has led to NFL history taking a 4-win team and turning into a 13-win team in just one season. Cohen is now one of 7 head coaches to win 13 or more games in 1 year, and the Big Cats are one of just 3 teams ever to pull off that kind of turnaround.
I think you try not to put too many expectations on it when you take the job. Like, I didn't sit here saying, I hope we win 8 or I hope we win 10 or, I didn't put many of those, labels on the job. When you get it, you're really just hoping to improve and to help players improve. You're hoping to obviously continue to elevate the standard and raise the bar. To say I assumed we would win 13 games when I took the job, I can't say that.
Liam Cohen, without question, should receive strong consideration for Coach of the Year. In fact, Evan, I believe he should be our Coach of the Year.
He's got a great case, and Cohen managed to do what the 2 previous Jaguar coaches could not do, and that is develop Trevor Lawrence.
Absolutely. The job Cohen has done with Trevor in just 1 season, it's incredible. As many of you know, T-Law came out of Clemson described as a generational quarterback, a can't-miss QB. Cohen came in and had Trevor work on some things, and as you can see, the difference in Trevor's production this season compared to last. It's key to note that Trevor only played in 10 games last season due to injury. And during the Jags' 8-game win streak, he's been exceptional with 20 touchdown passes, 5 on the ground, and completing around 63% of his passes for more than 1,800 yards. T-Law also named the FedEx Air and Ground Player of the Week and the AFC Offensive Player of the Month.
Gives you perspective. I've always had confidence in who I am, and I just try to go to work every day and get better. And I know in my career haven't always played my best every single Sunday, and that's part of growing and learning and evolving. And there's some growing pains, and there's some things that you got to go through. And I just think I have a better perspective through all of it. And at the end of the day, I just want to keep getting better. And that's, people can say what they want now, all the good stuff, and I don't really care about any of that either. I just want to keep getting better and keep finding ways to win.
Yeah, Trevor had to block out the noise early in the season because many were questioning if he could lead this franchise to higher heights.
Yeah, I think it's been remarkable to see what Liam Cohen has done with Trevor. We saw it last year with Baker Mayfield. It is certainly impressive, and I do agree with you. I do think Liam is Coach of the Year. As for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, what a disappointing year this was. Lost 7 of their last 8 games to miss the playoffs thanks to a 3-way tiebreaker. Kind of reminds me of the Jags from a couple of years ago. The boys didn't deserve to make the dance anyway. And despite how ugly this season ended, Todd Bowles will be back for a 5th season. And I know the fan base isn't happy about this, and I'm not here to convince you otherwise. But Graham Barton told ESPN this week that the Philadelphia faithful wanted to fire Nick Sirianni after the collapse in 2023. They fired the coordinators, stuck with Sirianni, and then went on to win the Super Bowl. Todd Bowles made his case earlier this week.
All I can do is coach and be myself. I've earned the chance. I've won 3 straight division titles, so that says a lot as far as I'm concerned. But I don't really have a message for fans other than true fans are true fans, and we're going to try to do our best to go out there and win for them. They're going to feel how they feel, but that's not a coach's problem. A coach's problem is to make the team better. That's all I'm looking forward to.
I understand their frustrations about this past season?
I understand their frustrations, and I understand our own frustrations as well. It's well warranted, and it's well warranted within the building as well.
This season was a wake-up call for many in the building. I don't see the locker room fractured. I see a locker room searching for answers, and that means ownership needs to invest more money in talent. Jason Light needs to do a better job with the defense and scouting. Todd Bowles needs to do a complete refresh of the defense. Plus, these guys simply need to play better, and it does start with Baker.
Yeah, a lot of changes there you're saying that you guys need to make. So what's next for the team, Evan?
Yeah, we've already seen it. 5 coaches have been fired, 2 have retired. And I spoke with many of the players during locker room cleanout day earlier this week after that collapse just happened. We will see, plenty more changes with the personnel. While many longtime Buccaneers fans remember the days of losing, many of these players do not. This organization made it to the playoffs 5 consecutive seasons, and no one wants to go back to the dark days.
It wasn't good. It wasn't a good feeling. Definitely something that I don't want to experience again. I just want to get with this team and just keep grinding, really.
This will show guys that how important it is to prepare the right way and do things the right way for us to take that next step to just not make the postseason, but win it all.
Yaya Diaby, along with some other players, did not like the fact that they had so many walkthrough practices this season. I know the team was banged up, but this squad has to go full speed way more often, which is a change I would expect for next season.
And it's so crazy to think early in the season we're talking about Baker Mayfield being an MVP candidate, maybe the Jags and Bucs being the Super Bowl. Whew, I guess that's why you play the whole thing through. As for the Dolphins,
things change quickly. Yeah, exactly. And the Dolphins are a great example. It took a few days, but the team did fire Mike McDaniel after 4 years of work. It's funny, we just talked about Todd Bowles saving his job with a 35-33 record. McDaniel wasn't as lucky. He had the same exact regular season record in the same time span. The only difference is Todd Bowles has 1 postseason win. McDaniel was 0 for 2. This does smell like Miami making an all-in push for John Harbaugh, given the relationship ownership has with the former Ravens head coach. From an offensive standpoint, McDaniel has the goods. Limited QB, tons of injuries, questionable GM, and he still managed to have a highly productive offense. This still was a top 15 offense considering everything that went wrong this year. The team certainly didn't quit on him, but there may have been chemistry issues in the past. I'm sure he will get head coaching looks during this cycle, Chris, but if that doesn't happen, he will be one of the most sought-after offensive coordinators because he remains a brilliant mind in that world.
I say head coach of the Baltimore Ravens. He and Lamar Jackson being put together. Maybe keep Derrick Henry. It could make for a special situation up there in B-more. Let's talk college football. Nothing says Florida. No, let's go back to the NFL. Nothing says Florida like bling, bling, the bling, bling grill that is. And after so many AI videos have been circulating on social media with a picture of Trevor Lawrence rocking a grill, his teammates presented him with a custom grill after the team's 41-7 shellacking of the Tennessee Titans last Sunday. Then we caught up with Teasy. He's the CEO of Premier Jewelry Company here in downtown Jacksonville, and he made the piece. Teasy has been making grills for the last 6 years and says this is the first he's gotten this is the first time he's gotten this kind of reaction, but he's not surprised considering this time it was for T-Law.
For me, this opportunity is definitely a blessing, but it's also a kind of like a reward of all the hard work I've been doing and been putting in with the different relationships and people that I've already met. So it's really, really cool to be appreciated right now, but at the same time, it's just work.
Whole thing happened after he met a guy who was working with the Jaguars at a photo shoot. A few weeks later, he got a call from one of Trevor Lawrence's former teammates at Clemson who asked if he could do the job. Trevor's wife, Marissa, had his mom get molds of Trevor's teeth from his dentist back home, and they were able to mail the molds to Teasy so he could surprise the quarterback. And I'll say this, Evan, Trevor Lawrence is looking G-O-O-D good with mouthpiece there.
Look, Trevor's out here getting squatted. He's living the best life right now. And there are plenty of changes happening at the collegiate end as well.
Yeah, former Florida quarterback DJ Lagway is transferring to Baylor. Lagway, the former #1 quarterback of the class of 2024, immediately becomes the highest-rated recruit ever to land in Waco. He's a Baylor legacy out of Willis High School, just northwest of Houston, and ranks as the number 15 overall player and number 5 QB in the transfer portal. Lagway showed promise as a freshman, leading a 4-game win streak at Florida to close the 2024 season, but injuries limited him in 2025. In 2 seasons, he threw for more than 4,100 yards and 28 touchdowns. So no surprise there, Evan, that Lagway's moving on.
Yeah. Meanwhile, on February 1st, Raymond James Stadium will host its first ever outdoor hockey game. But the first ever outdoor hockey game in the state is thanks to the Florida Panthers playing at Lone Depot Park where the Marlins play. It is now the second warmest game on record with puck drop at 61 degrees. Plenty of Lightning fans are happy the Rangers spoiled this historic event in the Sunshine State, handing the Panthers a 5-1 loss. But still, what a great moment for hockey in our state.
the idea of a southern setting. The ice was fine. The spectacle was incredible. The roof opening, the U.S. flag on the ice, the national anthem, all of it. It was just brilliant the entire kind of weekend. They're so good at it now. You got to figure out a way almost to get every team to play one a year, because it would be a highlight of the year for the team.
We cannot wait for February 1st. It's going to happen during Gasparilla weekend. Tampa is going to go crazy for this game against the Bruins.
I'm all fired up about it as well, my friend. The honors just keep coming for the 3A state champion Range Vikings. Up next in the heart of the game, the message quarterback TJ Cole had for the Duval County Public School board members this week.
But first, it's our ultimate rush, and it's an ode to one of the greatest coaches in NHL history, how John Cooper continues to build his Hall of Fame resume.
Welcome back to the Ultimate Florida Sports Show, the first show of 2026. Time now for the Ultimate Rush.
We have a lot to talk about this week, so we're going to put a minute on the clock for one topic, and I'm discussing John Cooper reaching 1,000 games with the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Lightning celebrated John Cooper reaching 1,000 games this week. He is the 5th active coach to reach the milestone and the 5th coach all time to reach his first 1K with one team. No one in that group had more dubs than Cooper, who will reach 600 career victories very soon. He already ranks in the top 25 all-time in wins in the sport. Give him a few more seasons, he will likely be near the top 10. Despite all the accolades this man has, he has never won the Jack Adams Award, which is essentially Coach of the Year. Even when this team recorded the most points in a single season back in 2019, which has since been broken, Cooper did not win the award that year. Now it's 2026. The Bolts have been decimated with injuries, and they're still atop the Eastern Conference standings. Nathan McKinnon beat Nikita Kucherov a couple of years ago for MVP because it was his time. Well, it is John Cooper's time. It is definitely his time. If the Tampa Bay Lightning continue this run and stay towards the top of the standings, I think he should win the Jack Adams Award, because it makes zero sense. A coach of this magnitude has never earned this accomplishment, and he has a great case here, and so does Jared Bednar of Colorado. He also doesn't have a Jack Adams, which is crazy.
What I always say, when I agree with my main man, all I say is testify. And I agree with everything you said there. You made your case. Now let's get to the heart of the game. One of those sports stories that takes you beyond the X's and O's and reminds us why we love sports. The honors just keep coming for Donovan Mazin, the 3A state champion Range Vikings. Duval County Public School board members honored the state champs this week. The Vikings won their 4th state championship in school history back in December, dramatic fashion, beating the Bulls of Miami Northwestern. Range QB TJ Cole shared with board members what the Range brand is, and he also asked them to continue supporting athletics.
Our teachers challenge us academically. Our coaches demand excellence and accountability, and our school culture supports the development of the whole student. I stand here as proof that academic achievement, athletic success, and a strong character can and should go hand in hand. It's what we call Range brand. As you, our school board members, continue making decisions that shape the future of students across the district, I ask that you continue to invest in programs that support not just athletes or scholars, but well-rounded young people grounded in values, education, and opportunity.
And that truly gives you a sense of just how connected and how well educated the kids are on Range. Their quarterback, this team locked in, won the state championship, but even despite all that, warning, he's a senior, the kids behind him to get the same financial support that he and his team have received up to this point.
My man, what are these kids, 16, 17 years old?
Yep.
And that was so eloquently said.
Yes.
It's not, I am so impressed. Leader on the field obviously seems like a leader off the field as well.
Yes, sir. Can we get a little respect ahead of my one-on-one conversation with Jaguars linebacker Foye Oluokun? He tries to explain why the Big Cats still aren't getting any RESPECT.
Hey, Dad. I don't need you to be perfect. I don't need you to be a superhero. I know you don't have it all figured out. Y eso está bien, porque eres mi papá. And that's enough. And scientific study shows when my dad is involved, great things happen. When test scores go up, I'm less anxious. I just become the best version of me.
The Jaguars faithful are hoping the success experienced during the regular season carries over into the playoffs, Chris.
And what a road it's been for this team. A one-on-one conversation with Jaguars linebacker Foye Oluokun. He discusses this squad's journey. I know you're a fierce competitor, goal-oriented, and I know in the big scheme of things it's all about finishing at the end as a champion. But when you consider where you guys started and where you come from, have you truly appreciated the journey?
Yeah, it's something to maybe after the season look back on, but we're still in the journey, so I want to keep it going. Obviously, we made it this far. I want to keep it going with these boys. We've grown every week since OTAs and stuff and training camp. Knowing the ups and downs that we've been through and a lot of the doubts that each of us has had as individuals on this team, everybody's kind of playing with each other and for each other. So I just want to keep it going as long as possible, and then I'll be happy when we get what we wanted at the beginning of the season.
The number one rush defense against the number one rushing offense, I'm assuming you would want it no other way.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be – I mean, it's playoff ball. Every team is capable of playing at their best and making noise. So every game that you're going to encounter right now is going to be, you know, a battle all the way through the game. And it's about the team that comes in and executes better and plays harder strains all the way through the game. Anything can happen, but we got to put ourselves in the best position every play.
Josh Allen, reigning MVP, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. The challenges he poses for a defense.
You know, he's very able to run, throw, you know, great tools as a quarterback. You know, he's only grown since he's been in the league. Very athletic and stuff, so, you know, he understands his concepts, and they have a good scheme with man beaters and all that stuff, and then he can extend plays and then throw the ball down the field and throw it in tight windows and all that. Hell of a competitor, too, will escape rush lanes, break tackles and stuff, still make amazing plays under duress. So it's just really out-competing them and being able to be where you're supposed to be at and making the plays that come to you.
And they got a great quarterback and a fine running back in James Cook, too.
Yeah, very dynamic, good with the ball in his hands. Obviously, they get him in open space well, get him on the perimeter. He'll find the perimeter, you know, very fast, but can also break tackles and stuff. So it's about what I preached all year, 11 is 1, keeping your gap. If he bounces it, making sure we're holding the edge and stuff. But everybody got to hunt, gang tackle, and all that.
I'm still trying to figure out, and I want to get your perspective on how you guys can be 13-4, win the AFC South, playing at home, but still the underdog.
You gonna ask me?
Yes. How is that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really on the outside, so I don't really know what they say about us. I just know that, you know, it kind of seems that throughout the year, everybody's kind of waiting for us to fall off, and I think that we're just challenging each other to keep playing for ourselves and keep not letting our teammates down.
And Evan, Liam Cohen and company, they've embraced this small market team, has embraced being the underdogs, and they've used it as motivation.
Yeah, send that over to Sean Payton, right? Still getting quick jabs in on him?
Yes.
In the last word, was it the last ride for Lavonte David? Why this Buccaneers legend should be in the Hall of Fame one day.
Time now for the last word. Evan, what's on your heart today, baby?
Look, I'm going to kick this one off with Lavonte David because the Bucs legend could be retiring from the NFL. Lavonte has been with the Buccaneers since 2012 and should be viewed as a Hall of Fame candidate when his time comes. Since at least 1982, David is one of 3 NFL players with 40-plus sacks and 35-plus takeaways in his career. Only Ray Lewis and Brian Urlacher have accomplished that feat. In year 14, he still produced 114 tackles and pushed his career total to the same exact number as Derek Brooks. That puts him in a tie for the Bucs franchise record and also 6th all-time in NFL history. He's also a Super Bowl champion. The problem with Lavonte's resume is earlier in his career when he was dominant, he was on atrocious teams and constantly overlooked. Guys like Luke Kuechly and Bobby Wagner always jumped him. Lavonte only has 3 All-Pro seasons on his resume, which is silly. Also, don't even get me started on his 1 Pro Bowl appearance. I think we all need to have a serious discussion about the importance of the Pro Bowl in terms of a Hall of Fame resume, considering some of the guys who sneak into those games. I can rattle off a bunch of names and you'll laugh. So we'll cross this bridge down the road, and who knows, maybe he'll be back for year 15, but when he walked off that field and the press conference he had after the game, it certainly felt like this was the last ride for the Flash, and if it was, man, like just truly one of the all-time greats. He will have his name in the Ring of Honor.
And I could not wrap up this show without talking about our Jacksonville Jaguars back in the playoffs for the first time since 2022. Duval, however you want to say it.
Duval.
Pack the house. Let's rock the house. And Evan, I want to go on the record. We'll talk about this next week. Not only do I believe our Jacksonville Jaguars are going to win, but they're going to win by 2 touchdowns. New Jags, and it ain't the same
Run
old
the ball.
Bills. You heard it from me,
Run
my
it.
brother.